Are you tired of being stuck in your rank? Because today I'm going to be giving you the blueprint. I'm going to give you everything you need to actually hit your peak rank in Black Ops 7. Now, for this to actually happen, we're going to have to go through the fundamentals. We're going to go through the process. Okay, so the way I like to do this is just let's take a step back and understand the situation here. Every single player watching this that has played rank play, or even if you haven't played rank play, you all, including myself, we all have a starter skill set. So this is our skill set that we currently have. Every single year as Call of Duty changes, what happens is the fundamentals of the game stay the same. The things that change will be the following: the meta, so the weapons themselves. So this could be, if you're an assault rifle player, we could go from a burst AR to a fully automatic assault rifle, or we could go from, if you guys played Vanguard, the automation, that was a faster firing assault rifle, which was a bit more like a flex AR, or you could have a Krig, which is a slower AR in Cold War. So the weapon may change the way the AR role is played. Same for the SMG. We could have something like the MP7, which is more movement based, the Veil, if you guys remember from MW2 just a couple of years ago. Then we could also have maybe this year with the Jackal, or we could have the C9, which is a little bit lighter, more mobile. So your subs are going to play similar, but again, the weapon could change slightly. The iron sights, some people could love them, some people could hate them. So the weapon, the meta is going to change, but the role is very similar. Then you have the maps. Again, the maps are going to change. Sometimes you have maps that tailor more towards teammates and it becomes more team structured, or sometimes they're maps with more routes which allow more individual plays. The point of this is these are things that are going to change year on year, and throughout the year they could also change as well, but your general skill set will be the same, and that's going to be able to carry you through the year, and you're going to be able to adapt to these situations. The other thing, and this is one of the most important thing that does change year on year, and it's going to be the broken mechanic. So when you actually think about video games, what we're doing is we're basically putting inputs into our controller that determine what happens on the screen. So when you watch the pros play, or the best players in any esport, what you're going to realize is what they do is they will play the game at the start to a amount of time where they will understand what mechanic is stronger than the other mechanics. Now, just on that point alone, if people are wondering, oh, how do I do that? You know, I want to do that myself. So at the start of the game, it's no coincidence, but you're going to realize that the pros put in a silly amount of time. Now, one variable is obviously it's their job and, you know, they're going to have to, but the other side of it, so like, there's obviously the enjoyment side. So let me backtrack a little bit. One side of it is the enjoyment. Like, it's a new game. Like, I'm going to put crazy amount of time in for sure. It's going to be fun. I'm super excited. The other side of it is when there's a new game, you're essentially, imagine you have a piece of paper and it's blank. And what you're doing now is you're going to use your core mechanics from last year and your general Call of Duty skill. You're going to play this new game, and the way it works is you're just going to play yourself, knowing how you like to play Call of Duty. And the pros are going to play, and then they're going to play other players like themselves, and what's going to happen is they're going to die to a certain mechanic. So let's just say Shotzi does a wall jump and kills Hydra. Hydra's going to watch that and say, oh, that was pretty good. Like, how did he do that? He's going to watch the kill cam and say, oh, okay. Then Hydra's going to do that back to Shotzi, and then Shotzi's going to realize how that looks back to him. And then this is going to be something that, again, you're going to see as the week goes on, there's going to be mechanics that are stronger than others. So last year, for example, with Omni movement, there were certain Omni movements that had a higher chance of winning the gunfight. But there's people I still talk to and coach that at the end of the year, they don't use those moves still, even though they've been playing the whole year. And that's the difference between a competitive player that's playing for money and, you know, that's their job, compared to like a casual. It's finding the right input to the controller. That's one of the biggest difference. The execution comes with time, but it's about finding what to do. So for example, with Black Ops 6, sliding sideways was such a good mechanic because it was the first time we've had that. So normally, just as a tip, new mechanics are normally broken because it's like a new feature of the game. So imagine Omni movement was terrible. it wouldn't be a selling point. So just generally my experience from gaming, even in like FIFA or FC, which I play, normally when there's a new shot or a new mechanic, it's normally quite strong because it's kind of like a marketing thing. Now, whether they do that on purpose, I don't really know, but for me, it's always been the case where whenever it's a new mechanic, I could bank on it being quite strong. Same thing for Call of Duty. If it's a new movement, I would test it out. I would bank on it. It's probably going to be quite useful. So yeah, that's the thing you're going to see the pros do. They're going to just play the game at a very competitive level off the break, and they're going to start to understand the meta. They're going to understand what type of movement, this and that. The other thing you're going to want to do is, if you can't play a lot, you want to watch a lot. The pros are going to be playing a lot of competitive. So they're going to be playing pubs, going for cameras, having fun. And what you're doing in pubs is you're learning the following. One is, again, like we just covered, the general gunplay of the new game. You're going to be understanding specific spots, the way the map is flowing, different areas, different line of sights. These are all things that add up. So everyone's basically got a blank page and you're starting to develop your skills. So if you're trying to get ahead and you're like, this is my year, I need to get ahead, I think the way you start can really, really compound your year. So what I would recommend doing is at the start, when you're playing pubs, have some fun with it, but also passively be learning. So when you die, just watch the kill cam. It's such a simple way. Just watch the kill cam and start to, you know, build a rapport. If you die and you're like, that was a good head glitch, where was it? Oh, I need to try that. Okay, that's a great head glitch. Okay, cool. Before you know it, the comp maps are going to be out and you're like, oh, I've actually got 5 or 6 line of sights already on this map. Play some hardpoint in pubs, have some fun with it, but start to learn the spawns a little bit. Start to watch some of these players. They're going to be streaming S&D tournaments, kickoff tournaments, hardpoint chows. They're going to be streaming a lot. Start watching them, start understanding, right, what are they doing? So while the pros are learning, we can learn with them. Another thing I really like watching the pros do is their attention of detail. Sometimes I'll watch a pro and they'll spend like 25 minutes in a private game just kind of fucking around with another pro and talking about nade spots and stuff like that, like the real nerdy stuff. And the thing is, that's kind of the extra dirty work. Like if you can do that, you're really putting yourself in a spot to win the game, and just get that extra skill gap. I was really bad at this last year, and it's quite bad from me as a coach. I should have been much better with knowing the callouts of every single map. I should have known all nade spots, all lines of sights. I kind of relied on my skill of reading situations to get me through coaching, but that wasn't prepared enough. So I need to take accountability this year, and myself, I need to be better. I need to make sure I know all lines of sights, all nade spots, all callouts, and really just give yourself an advantage, because I think preparation is such a big part of being a better player. Now we go to comp. How do we even play comp at the start? Like what's the situation? So for some of you guys that do know or don't know, let's go through it anyways and what the situation is. Rank play will be out in season, I thought it was January, but now I'm seeing rumors of February. It's going to be quite late. So what you have now is you have November to February before rank play. What I would personally say is, yes, it's a bit of a bummer rank play's not being out yet. Don't worry. I would use this time to actually play competitive through other areas. So you have websites like Console Kings, the new one that just come out. Again, I don't know how it's going to be yet, but it's looking like it's going to be a place for console wagers and GBs, and you know, be able to play against other players on console. Also you have like CMG and stuff like that. So you have areas of like competitive websites where you can find other players and stuff like that. I wouldn't play for money. I would just play for XP, which is free, just to have fun and get better at the game. Like, don't worry about playing for money. I think that's more like advanced. I would just have fun, play for XP matches, which is basically for free, and you can just, you know, get better at the game. Also, there's competitive 8s. So what 8s are is essentially you get 8 members of the community, you put them in a private game, and you have 4v4. So it's like rank play rules, but with people you know. So in my server, my Discord server, if you check out the description, we're going to be running community 8s a lot. So what's going to happen is you could jump into the 8 section and find other players to play with. I used to do this all the time, and it's how I met most of my friends through gaming over the years, is through 8s, because you find people with like-minded mentality of yourself, and you just get to play with them. Now what I would say is, the way I look at this industry is it is quite cutthroat. Everyone knows the levels to this, and everyone knows how good people are. So if you're a good player and you're with players that aren't as good as you kind of have to make a decision, like, what's your career path? Like, if you're just having fun, that's fine, but if you're trying to compete and go pro, you're gonna have to pack a punch on your team. It is what it is. It's just the truth. I'll give you a perfect example, like Hydra. If you look at Hydra, he came from Challengers. He was from France. He wasn't even in the NA scene. He was just frying in Challengers. He got picked up on Subliners, a good team, a decent team on Subliners, And what happened was he just showed his worth. His worth was so good that they kept on going through. They ended up building around him. People moved on. He ended up getting a world champion team in Modern Warfare 2 after his stint in Vanguard and Cold War. He ends up getting a world champion team in Modern Warfare 2 where he was the best player in the year by quite a margin. Absolutely takes over. Team runs it back. They get Sib, so they replace Priestar. Again, same situation. Now he now gets cherry picked and he now goes to Thieves on another super team. And now his team gets upgraded again. So you just got to make sure that you keep playing to your value and the success will happen. Like, if you're a great player, people want to play with you. You just got to be the best version of yourself. Another thing is, like, I really feel like the biggest thing at the start of the year is how much time you put in, whether that's shooting bots, whether that's playing pubs and learning the game, whether that's watching the pros. Like, there are so many things you can do, and this is the thing that I feel like people get a little bit confused on. I think people underestimate how much time the pros put in. I can just look at Optic Dashi. This guy at the start of the year, I guarantee Dashi shoots more bots in the first week than 60% of this video does the whole year. I'm gonna say that again. I guarantee that Dashi shoots more bots in the first week than 60% of this viewership in the whole year. Now, this is another layer. Dashi already has a better shot than us. He's already better than us. So him sharpening his edge, him just shooting those bots in the first week, it's just what keeps him on top. And it's like in sports. If you watch the best sports, whether it's basketball, I'm a football guy because I'm from London. I love football. Let's just say in football, let's say Ronaldo or Messi, whoever you want to say the best, whatever, doesn't matter, right? If they're already at that level and they're still practicing and they're still getting better, you have to do more work than them. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to take a look this year. This is a fresh start. Whatever rank you are, whatever level you are, you got to put in some time this year. And I did this. Look, now this is my full-time job. I'm extremely grateful. But when I was working full-time on my, I was doing accounting. So when I was working full-time accountant, I was still able to do 2 VOD reviews a day, every single day. Regardless, I didn't make a single penny from content. I did it for the passion, and then I was grateful enough to turn it into a job. But what I would do is this, and this is what I recommend. If you're, even if it's one person that listens to this and feels motivated, I feel like I've done my job. But what I would say is, like, how bad do you want it? How bad are you trying to get to that next level? And give yourself a chance, man. I feel like with esports as well, like, I feel like there's so many good players, and I'm just like, I don't know why you didn't just try and compete. And it's like, I don't know, I hear people say like, oh, I don't think I can go pro. It's like, when you're like, 10 years later, when you look back at this opportunity, like, you're gonna be like, I should have just went for it. Like, there's no point having regrets. If you're good, like, I think you should go for it, to be honest with you. And people said time and stuff, like, yeah, it's gonna be sacrifice. Like, you're going up against other people that are hungry for it, so you have to be disciplined with it. You really do, if you're trying to get to that next level. But yeah, I just feel like I kind of wanted to just give an open video without just talking about Black Ops 7, and hopefully there's a couple of people watching this that are ready to go and ready to be better. And I just feel like you can use the first 2 months before rank play just to kind of work on your skills, like really work on yourself. Like, if you're playing pubs, work on your fundamentals, your centering, your shot, your minimap, everything. And then when you're playing custom games with your friends, like, work on your weaknesses. This is another thing that I personally think helped me so much, was just consistently working on my weaknesses. Something I used to do all the time was work on my weaknesses in private games against people that weren't as good as me. So I'll explain what I used to do. Sorry, I have to go get a drink. I have to pause the video. Yeah, so what I used to do, and this is actually so stupid, but I used to do this all the time. So growing up playing COD, I used to enjoy competitive. I used to love watching it. I just had the passion. I just played 8s all the time. I had no teammates. I knew a few people from school that played competitive, but I would grind. I would always be on playing 8s, playing rank play, playing 8s. I was the youngest, playing people older than me. And I remember it was like crazy because like people would be so toxic and talk shit, but I just enjoyed the game so much, man. I had that passion of like, it was crazy passion. I just loved playing competitive, and I just got better and better and better. And I was so bad at the start, but I just kept playing and kept playing and kept playing, and I was good. I eventually got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm actually pretty decent. I should find some better players. But yeah, what I used to do is like play competitive all the time. And then when I was playing with my cousins, so my cousins were younger than me, they didn't really play competitive. They played on like TVs. They didn't have scarves. I was a little bit more competitive, where I played on a monitor, and I tried to, like, I worked on my mechanics. They were just casual gamers, yeah, right? After school, they would play. So what I used to do is like challenge myself by playing custom games against them, but in stacked lobbies. So I would always like, this is something I feel like was really good. I'm glad I did it. I feel like too many people have an ego, and they play for their ego. So I've seen people play against people they're clearly better than, and they're just boosting their own ego. I'm like, what do you get from that engagement? Like, if I 1v1 a platinum player and I 30 them, right? All I'm doing is giving myself a big head. I'm like, oh, I'm so good. But realistically, I'm playing someone that's not as experienced as me, so I'm not really testing myself. Where if I said, all right, I'm gonna play a platinum player, but I'm going to turn off aim assist, I'm like, it's a bit more fair, and I'm improving my skill. That's kind of how I always used to look at it. So I would say, right, I'll play my cousins. There are 3 of them. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm 1v3ing you. And, you know, the games would be close. I would lose sometimes. Sometimes I'd win. But it would be like, it's more skilled. It's more, I could learn how to fight multiple people, and I could understand the timings of stuff. And it was just like, the win didn't matter. The loss didn't matter. It was like, how do I get better? Even in that engagement. And I feel like it was such a good skill set. And I'm glad I developed it from young, where I was like, you know, utilizing my time. So if you're playing pubs, for example, you can get better. If you're playing people you're better than, you can get better. If you're playing people that you are better than, you can get better. I feel like that constant loop to myself of, oh, we can get better no matter what, that was so good. Another thing, I feel like this is more as I got older the last few years, but even recently I've struggled with this a little bit, and I'm trying to get better at it. It's not comparing myself to the pros. Sometimes I'll compare myself to the pros, and I've kind of be hard on myself, like, I'm not as good as them, like, what's wrong with me? Like, but I'm not putting the time as them, man. I'm really not. So why am I expecting to get the results of them without putting the work in? It's stupid, you know. So I sometimes have to remind myself, like, listen, you're good, man. Like, I'm a good player. Don't be so hard on yourself. But there's so much room to improve, and that's fine. But, you know, we know what to do. I know exactly what to do to improve. It's just doing it. So I feel like sometimes it's just things like that, getting your own head, and, you know, not overcomplicating it. And like I said, this video, it was a bit of a roundabout video. It wasn't really structured. I like some of these videos sometimes where I just got gameplay in the background and I'm just kind of talking. This is like my podcast vibe. Like, I'm just talking out loud, and just kind of having fun with it, man. And I'm super excited to see where this year takes us, and hopefully there's some players passionate out there that want to get better. I'm looking at hopefully as well, long term, is making like a challenger team, just like Zuma has with the Stallions. I would love to make something similar. I think he's got a great community vibe going on there, and I'd love to do my own thing like that eventually in the future. So yeah, I want some people just to be the best version, man. Like I said, just stay humble, stay hungry, and you'll be good. You'll be better, you'll be improving. And I'm also going to be doing a lot of coaching throughout the year, just like we did last year, but we'll be leveling it up once again. So if you guys want to get some coaching down, man, check out the Discord down below. If you look in the description of the video, it gives you a coaching brief on how to make a ticket. Do that, and yeah, I'm excited to see how we get along. But Black Ops 7 is out tomorrow, so we're gonna get some gameplay on the channels and go from there. So I hope you guys did enjoy this little summary video of, you know, how to just be ready, how to be ready for the new game. And I catch you guys for another video